In this video, let's take a look at how to control your character in Reverence. Reverence has a multi-layered control system, so you can have as little control or as much control as you want, depending on the situation. So, for example, you might want to just click a button and have an animation play. You can do that, or in certain situations, you might want to be able to fine-tune the rotation of your arm or extend a single finger. You can do that too. You can do both those or anything in between. But let's just jump into how to actually control your character. And the basics of it is if you hold down right-click, you have control of your right arm. I'm just holding down right-click and moving the mouse. If I hold down left click, control the left arm. On a gamepad, this would be left shoulder button or right shoulder button. But another thing you might have noticed is in the bottom right, there are these two grids. Those are the zone memory grids, part of the muscle memory system. What's going on there is that little red dot, as I'm holding down right click, is moving wherever my shoulder position is. And each of these zones has data about where my forearm should be, my elbow, my wrist, and it adjusts those positions as I move my arm through the zones. In this middle zone, my arm is kind of up and down, so I can do overheads, but as I move it just to the left, my arm turns over, and then if I bring it all the way to the left, my elbow bends in as I wind up for a left swing. And this is a kind of a horizontal swing muscle memory that I had put together, but you can completely configure these on your own. You can make more zones. You can see on the left, this is like a punching muscle memory since there's no weapon in my hand. Or a very basically made one for, I think, just like hooks, throwing hooks. But yeah, you could make like a fencing muscle memory if you wanted, as you move your arm for it to do a stab or something like that. That's the idea of the zone memory, and this kind of sits in between that super fine detail of control where you're controlling the rotation of your arm to pressing a button and an animation playing. The full control is, if I'm holding right click, I can press, I can spin the middle mouse wheel and that rotates my arm. There's also some modifier keys, like I think I can just control just my wrist if I want. I don't think you're really going to use this. I have it bound to mouse 4. This is just in here because I don't know when to stop, over-engineering this game. But, it's there. If you want it, you can do this. Anyways, let's just keep going. There's action frames. Now, this is what I was talking about for just pressing a single button. If you just, instead of holding right click, if you tap right click, it'll play an action frame. And this is completely configurable too. I made this one in like 10 seconds. And it's only one action frame. So if you wanted, you could make multiple of these. So if you press right click multiple times, it would go through several animations like a combo. Like if you press right click once, it does this. And then if you press it again, maybe it does a left slash. And then you press it a third time, it does an overhead. You could set that up however you want. But that's action frames. Then I guess something that I wasn't really, I've kind of taken for granted, but it was made early in the development of Reverence, is ready positions, and those are completely configurable too. Like if I move my arm all the way to the left and then just let go, I go back into my stance. And you could configure this however. Here, let's go into third person so you can see. See, it's kind of like looking slightly 45 degrees to the right. If I move my arm, I go back into my stance. I can hold down R, and that will bring me to my stance quicker. If you wanted, you could have like, a more fully right-facing stance if you want like less of your body exposed, or you could face completely forwards. Like, one thing I could show you right now is if you sprint, you can't sprint in your stance. So if I held shift, boom, I'm facing forwards. Here, let's see here. If I hold shift, then I'm running forward. Your forward position is whichever way your head is facing. So if I let go of shift, I go back into my stance. Now when I press forward, I'm looking that way, so I'm moving that way. Not too complicated, but I don't know. That's the basic idea of how you control your character in Reverence. I guess one other kind of fun thing I could show you is I had put together a God mode. Let's see if this works. It's not like normal God mode, because let's see if I just tap this guy. That basically just makes you really strong. Anyways, that's it. Hope this was informative. Good luck.